wasn't going to film this today. I wasn't going to film anything today, but a friend of mine stopped by and he asked me two questions that have morphed now into two videos and I'm filming back to back. The first one being, what is, in my opinion, the best budget knife ever? So let's turn it around and I'll show you.
Guys, this is the Migon Vona, and I have to say, if I had to pick a knife to be the best budget knife I've ever had on the channel, it would be this one. Now, there is a newer version of this one that is done in 14C28N. It's got a blue pocket clip, blue pivot collar, and a finger choil, or a choil on it, I should say. I may try to get one of those in the future, but I absolutely love this knife. This has hit all of the wickets and coming in at like $53. It's amazing. This knife definitely should cost more. It definitely feels like it should. Now, mine is in a steel called DC53, which is why I have not gotten rid of this one. This is the only knife I own in that steel, and it's incredible. But what you get on this is a lot of bang for your buck. So first of all, beautiful lines on this. It is a very large, not large, it's on the larger side when you look at EDC pocket knives. This one's coming in just a little over 9 inches, but the blade and everything is beautifully done. You've got incredible access to the lock. The handles on it are very, very comfortable. There's no hot spots at all on this. And you fall into a really comfortable neutral grip on this that is well balanced. The problem you have with a lot of larger knives, and I say that this knife, a lot of times people are like, what do you really like about this knife so much? It feels much more, it feels much smaller than it actually is. At 9 inches, a lot of times when you start getting into like 9-inch knives, they feel out of sorts. It feels like the blade is too far removed from your grip and from the pivot, and you don't have that on this knife. It's really well balanced. It carries nicely for a large knife. It is not very heavy. It's done in a liner lock, and they did weight reduction inside, as you can see, with these G10 overlays, which gives it a nice balance. You've got the heavier blade up forward. You can see it likes to drop forward, really comfortable in a cut. And then you've got these beautiful lines. You've got this nice fuller that runs all the way out that gives you this kind of angled harpoon look at the very tip. But it is a functional fuller because you can reverse flick on it. The action on this is incredible. This knife came to me from Jared. He told me to keep it. It was a gift from Jared over at Neves Knives. And it has been one of my most carried knives that has come in a long time. The finish on it has held up really well. Now, the newer ones are in 14C28N, which is a steel I absolutely love, but I love this DC53 steel that's on this one. It's a unique steel. I have had a lot of good experiences with this knife. It takes a very crisp, very toothy edge pretty much at any grit. It's a lot like D2. From what I've read, it's a lot like D2, but an upgraded, more robust version. It's like harder D2, and it's a lot less rust prone than the D2. The flipper tab on this, just, you can't, it is really hard to make this knife fail with the action. D10 on it's just about perfect, but that flipper tab then turns into a nicely done finger guard, and you can get way up on this. It's nice. It's nicely thickened across, nicely thickened. It's got a nice thick profile, I should say, all the way across, which means it fills your hand nicely, feels really good. They didn't put any jimping on the blade, and the whole spine of that blade is nice and crowned, which means it's very, very comfortable in hand. You don't really need jimping on this because you can get way up on it. Even in this back grip without a forward choil, you can get way up on this, and you've got very good control of the blade, and that is really comfortable. So you don't need the jimping per se. The G10 is textured just about perfectly to give you really good retention and grip on this without being aggressive and tearing pockets. The pocket clip is probably one of the best pocket clips on a budget knife. I've had a lot of times you get these budget knives in and it's just like a punched out deep carry pocket clip that they put on all their knives. Not this one from Migon. This was a purpose-built clip on this. And then just the way they've redacted the scales to allow you to shadow box it so you can see the liners all the way around and then crown them. It's not at all hot spotty. It's not at all uncomfortable. And it is attractive, especially when you look at like the pop of shine around the scales and then this nice little brass pivot collar. There's only a couple small things that I would say about this knife that they have kind of rectified a little bit in the new version. So we'll talk about the couple little negatives right after this from a
I
sponsor.
just want to acknowledge Doll Strong Knives for sponsoring this video. They are offering a broad selection of knives that will fit the needs of everyone, from the at-home foodie that just putters in the kitchen all the way up to the professional chef level kind of quality. They've got a broad selection of every type of knife you would need for any situation, from choppers all the way down to your fine detail paring knives and things like that. So go check them out. They offer some of the best looking knives as well. This is part of their Shogun series. This is an amazing knife. Go check them out. Support the channel. You know that your kitchen knives are the knives you're going to use the most. Why not get good ones? So now let's turn this around and get back to the video.
So just a couple of minor negative things. There was no need for this jimping here. It's not great. Like I said, there's no jimping on the blade, but there is some here. If anything, I like it. I would like to have it removed because you do feel it. It's not sharp. It's very like just for show kind of jimping. So it's not aggressive, but you didn't need it there. The next thing, which is kind of a big deal. Can you see how close that is? I've actually cut myself twice with this, and I did just do it a minute ago with this right in here. You can almost, like if you push your finger in there, I'm touching the blade. So this will get a choil. I'm probably going to mask this off and remove that material myself, maybe later today. I just wanted to point that out. I've left it on there because I knew I was going to do this video for a long time. I just didn't know when. The next thing, the liner lock on this. Can you see how much material? It's kind of asymmetrical. You see how clean this line marries up. They could have just brought the scale up to marry up at the same distance. They didn't need to bring that material down on this side. I think what happened is that they just milled the scales at the same time, and the scales are this exact same dimensions. And so since the lock bar stands up taller, you just have some of the asymmetry, but it would have been a lot cooler aesthetically to have that match there. And then just the final thing, everything about this is almost so perfect, but they had to put a lanyard hole in it. And I don't understand why they didn't just go ahead and mill you out a spot. Maybe it was a cost saving thing, like they didn't want to put a pin in, but they could have just milled this out and then put a pin in just in here and had it screw in, and then you wouldn't have had the hole in it. Now, it's not a horribly ugly hole, but other than that, this is a knife that at the price point is just about perfect. You cannot go wrong with this knife. They are available on Amazon again now, so I will be putting a link down there. Until I can get an actual Migon affiliate link, you can pick these up on Amazon to support the channel. So guys, that's it on this one. This is absolutely an amazing knife. It is definitely a yup. It wins all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. This is probably the best budget knife, hands down, on the market, and it will be for a long time. So let's turn this around and do some final thoughts to send you out about your day.
I honestly sat and thought about the two videos. The next one's going to be what is the best all-around EDC of all time, in my opinion. And I've got it picked out, but I did sit around and I thought about it for a couple hours. It was not real hard to come up on this one. This is probably, at the money, the best budget knife all around that's going to hit a lot of wickets for a lot of people, period. It is an amazing knife, and if you haven't checked one out, you can't go wrong at $53. So yeah, Migon really nailed it with this one. I think that this is probably one of the best knives of all time. So that being said, guys, that's the end of the video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. But please try to tell me why. I can't change the content if you don't tell me what you don't like. You want to support the channel? I know I threw an ad in. You can follow my sponsors. You can go down and check them out. Coffee Brain Coffee and Temper Trail both have got discount codes built into their links. You save 10% just by using that link. You can also save 40% right now at Beyond EDC with my coupon code CrazySharp, all one word, all lowercase. 40% off on some amazing knives. It also works at Fair and Forge Knife Works and Rosecraft Blades. I have affiliate links at most of the major vendors. I've also now got Kaiser and QSP, and I think Cancept, 3 new ones. So if you're going to buy some knives, use them all down. I got Blade HQ, knives ship free. So if you're looking for general knives, you can find them there. I also have an Amazon store. You can take that link, pin it to your browser. None of those cost you anything extra at checkout. They just support the channel. But use the Amazon one for any Amazon shopping you're going to do. Hint, hint. And I have got a public Discord that I've built. You can go down into the description, click the link that says join the community. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of stuff. I try to be on there every day. And I have got a membership where I do a lot of specific things for the members. There's a private Discord. There's exclusive content. There's giveaways for the media or for the middle and top tier. And the top tier guys have got access to a sharpening tutorial series. So guys, that's it on this one. I love you all. Keep it clean in the comment section. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. And I'll see you in the next video.